Now, tell me how you took such an iconic book that a lot of fans are waiting to see this and made an animated movie out of it.
We just sat down with the comic and reread it, and because I've been a fan of the comic for since it first came out, had a really big impact on me. And I just got done rereading it just a couple years ago, because a lot of things when you read when you're younger and you read them again, you go, oh my God, this isn't nearly as good as I remembered. This was even better. I was really surprised to see that it really held up, and I just always wanted to do something with it. And when we sat down to do it, I just insisted every step of the way, from the script to the animation style to the character designs. I just wanted it to look like the comic come to life. So every step of the way, anytime somebody would kind of veer away from the comic, like in the screenplay, and I have to say, Tab Murphy did the screenplay, did a really, really great job of adapting it into the film. But every now and then I'd be reading the script and going, oh, wait a minute, that line's not right. And I'd go back and look at the comic and I go, oh, yeah, the line in the comic, it's better. Put that line in there. So it was just a matter of just constantly referring to the comic and making sure that it stayed true.
So basically, the fans aren't going to be disappointed when they sit down and watch this, you hope.
You can't ever please anybody. I mean, or everybody, there's always going to be somebody who says, oh, you got that wrong, or, that part's not right, or whatever. And it's just like, whatever, that's fine. All I can say is, we just did the best job we could to try to make it as faithful to the comic as possible.
What did you see in Ben McKenzie that you thought made the perfect Bruce Wayne Batman? Because he's an interesting choice for this.
Right. Well, we've had so many different Batmen over the years, starting with Kevin Conroy, who's awesome, and, Bruce Greenwood was really awesome, and I love Jeremy Sisto and William Baldwin. This movie had it needed to have a really specific sound to Bruce Wayne and Batman, because he's young. He's only in his early 20s in this movie. And so he needed to sound youthful, but at the same time, he needed to sound like he could convincingly be the scary, badass Batman. So I remember I was actually watching Southland one day and specifically noticing Ben McKenzie's voice and thinking, wow, this guy's got a really great voice. He's got a really cool presence. So when we were, throwing ideas around for, who we could get to play Batman in this movie, he was one of the names that came up, and he was available, and bang, there we go.
And I know that Christopher Nolan has his Batman movie coming out, and it may be the end of that. Is there any chance that after that, Warner Brothers will turn Batman Year One and the idea and storyline in this into a feature film? I mean, does that talk ever come up?
As far as I know, I don't know. That's way above my pay grade. I have no idea.